For years, financial experts have praised the 50-30-20 budgeting rule as the perfect solution: 50% on needs, 30% on wants, and 20% on savings. It sounds beautifully simple, doesn't it? But here's what they're not telling you. This one-size-fits-all approach is fundamentally broken for most Americans in 2025. The rule was created before skyrocketing housing costs, massive student loan debt, and an economy where essential expenses often exceed 50% of income for 68% of Americans. What if there's a more realistic approach that actually works with today's financial realities? By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why percentage-based budgets break down and discover 5 flexible frameworks that adapt to your unique situation. So if you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for our latest financial wisdom. Why the 50-30-20 rule is fundamentally flawed. The rule originated in Elizabeth Warren's 2005 book during a radically different economic landscape. Since then, housing costs have increased at twice the rate of income growth, while healthcare and education costs have skyrocketed. When essential expenses consistently exceed 50% of income, reality for most people, the entire framework collapses. As financial educator Tiffany Aliche explains, the 50-30-20 rule assumes your income and expenses exist in perfect harmony. But for most people, that's simply not the reality they live in. Dave Ramsey puts it bluntly: the problem with cookie-cutter financial advice is that your life isn't made with cookie cutters. The rule also ignores income level differences. For someone earning $35,000 annually, 50% for needs leaves nothing for other categories. For someone earning $350,000, restricting needs to 50% creates artificial pressure rather than optimized decisions. Perhaps most problematically, the rule creates category confusion, the blurring of lines between genuine needs and lifestyle wants. Most people gradually inflate their needs category to include premium services and luxury versions of basics, defeating the framework's purpose. Now, let's explore 5 practical alternatives. Alternative number 1, the essential priority framework. Instead of rigid percentages, this creates a personalized hierarchy of financial priorities. You build a customized sequence of goals reflecting your unique circumstances, with money flowing through each priority regardless of percentage. Here's how it works. Create a priority list determining where each dollar goes: survival needs, protective measures, debt elimination, stability building, then wealth creation. Money flows through this sequence, funding each priority before moving to the next. The psychological power comes from achievable sequencing, creating clear paths of small wins that build momentum. As financial educator Tanya Rapley notes, financial confidence isn't built by achieving arbitrary ratios. It's built by setting clear priorities and systematically achieving them. The beauty is flexibility. During higher expense months, focus on essential priorities. During extra income months, accelerate through the sequence. There's no guilt about breaking percentage rules because the system adapts to your reality. To implement, list true survival needs first, then create subsequent layers: protective measures, debt elimination, stability building, wealth creation. Direct income through this sequence, fully funding each priority before advancing. Alternative number 2, the value-based allocation system. This aligns spending with core values rather than arbitrary categories. Instead of needs, wants, savings, you distribute income based on what brings genuine meaning to your life. The system works by identifying personal financial values: security, freedom, experience, impact, or growth, then allocating percentages to each value category based on importance. This creates deeply personalized spending plans reflecting unique priorities rather than generic formulas. Suze Orman captures this perfectly. The key to financial freedom isn't about following rigid rules. It's about making choices that align with your true values. When your money flows toward what genuinely matters, financial discipline follows naturally. The psychological principle is intrinsic motivation. We sustain behaviors connecting to personal values longer than externally imposed ones. When your financial system reflects authentic priorities, motivation comes from within rather than external pressure. Financial psychologist Brad Klontz explains, most budgeting fails because it feels like a financial diet. Value-based money management transforms restriction into purposeful allocation, making it sustainable long-term. This eliminates guilt and confusion around spending decisions. When you're clear about values and have allocated money specifically for them, spending becomes a conscious expression of priorities rather than financial anxiety. To implement, identify your top 3 to 5 financial values through reflection. Create spending categories based on these values. Then determine percentage allocations reflecting each value's relative importance. Alternative number 3, the income scaling method. This acknowledges that appropriate spending ratios naturally evolve as income changes. Instead of static percentages, it creates dynamic allocations that automatically adjust as income grows or decreases. The system uses baseline allocation with surplus direction. First, establish your basic survival number, minimum needed for essential living regardless of income level. Then create deliberate plans for directing every dollar above baseline according to progressive formulas. Grant Cardone speaks to this. The wealthy don't save money proportionally to their income. As income increases, the percentage you invest should increase dramatically. The more you make, the more aggressive your investment strategy becomes. The psychological mechanism is lifestyle inflation prevention, creating deliberate friction against tendencies to increase spending proportionally with income. Research shows that without specific planning, lifestyle costs typically consume 90% of income increases within 2 years. As Ramit Sethi notes, one of the biggest financial mistakes people make is increasing spending at the same rate as income. The trick is to enjoy income increases selectively while harnessing the additional money's power. This also works in reverse during temporary income decreases. Instead of maintaining arbitrary percentages during tough times, temporarily reduce non-baseline expenses while protecting essential needs and core priorities. To implement, calculate true baseline living expenses, what you genuinely need, not what rules say you should spend. Create progressive allocation plans for income above baseline, with investment percentages increasing as income grows. Alternative number 4, the financial independence framework. This reorients budgeting from percentage balancing to accelerating your journey toward financial freedom. Instead of focusing on spending categories, it centers on one metric, your financial independence number and timeline. The system calculates current spending and investment amounts needed to sustain that spending indefinitely, typically 30 times annual expenses. This becomes your independence target. Every financial decision gets evaluated by simple criteria. Does it move you toward or away from that target, and by how much time? Financial independence expert J.L. Collins explains, the real measure of financial success isn't budget percentages. It's how quickly you're moving toward having work become optional. When you measure money decisions by days of freedom they cost or create, everything changes. The psychological principle is purpose-driven decision-making. Humans make more consistent choices when clearly understanding the ultimate purpose behind actions. When each financial decision connects directly to your freedom timeline, motivation sustains naturally without requiring external discipline. Personal finance author Vicki Robin puts it perfectly. Money is life energy. When you see exactly how many hours you're trading for purchases versus days of freedom that money would buy, your relationship with spending transforms. This framework automatically adjusts to different life phases and income levels. Whether earning $40,000 or $400,000, the principle remains. Every dollar either extends or shortens your journey to financial independence. To implement, calculate average annual expenses and multiply by 25 for your independence target. Divide by annual investment capacity for your timeline estimate. For significant expenditures, calculate their impact on your independence timeline. Alternative number 5, the seasonal budgeting approach. This acknowledges that financial life naturally moves through different seasons, requiring different allocation patterns. Instead of forcing consistent percentages year-round, it creates deliberate shifts in financial priorities based on predictable life phases and income fluctuations. The system identifies specific financial seasons, periods with naturally different income or expense patterns, and creates customized allocation frameworks for each season rather than applying single formulas consistently. Financial expert Rachel Cruz explains, your money plan should be as dynamic as your life. There are seasons for aggressive saving, seasons for strategic investment, and seasons where maintenance is the appropriate goal. Forcing the same approach across all phases creates unnecessary stress. The psychological mechanism is decision pre-commitment, making important choices during rational planning moments rather than in emotional spending situations. Creating season-specific frameworks during clear-headed planning establishes guardrails protecting long-term interests. Tiffany Alicha adds, most financial stress comes from trying to apply static solutions to dynamic circumstances. When your money management approach adapts to natural life cycles, consistency becomes dramatically easier. This works equally well for people with predictable career cycles, seasonal business income, or anyone experiencing major life transitions like new parenthood, career changes, or approaching retirement. To implement, identify natural financial seasons in your life based on income fluctuations, predictable expense cycles, or life phases. Create specific allocations appropriate for each season, with automatic triggers for transitioning between frameworks. The power of personalized financial systems. The breakthrough insight isn't finding the perfect budgeting method. It's choosing approaches that align with your reality rather than forcing life into mathematical boxes that don't fit. Each framework succeeds because it works with human psychology and real-world circumstances. Whether you choose priority-based sequencing, value-driven allocation, income scaling methods, independence-focused planning, or seasonal frameworks, the key is creating systems you'll actually follow consistently. As Tiffany Alicha wisely observes, the best budget isn't one that follows perfect mathematical ratios. It's the one you'll actually follow because it makes sense for your life. Financial success comes from systems working with your natural tendencies, not against them. The 50-30-20 rule had its place in a different economic era, but today's realities demand more flexible, personalized approaches, acknowledging your unique circumstances, values, and goals. The most financially successful people aren't those following generic percentage rules. They're those creating customized systems that evolve with changing lives while staying true to core financial objectives. Your financial plan should be as unique as you are. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might benefit. If you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our practical financial advice. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.